The Ferrari Challenge back on track at Misano Adriatico, remembering the Finali Mondiali back here in 2002. Now, however, the Finali Mondiali with a special flavour like beginnings. Because at last we're back on track after the 2020 season was interrupted due to the COVID emergency, and at the same time we're starting again for 2021. A circuit that is a guarantee of spectacle, as the most recent events in the Prancing Horse Single Make Series have also confirmed. So, in spite of everything, and with every necessary precaution, let's get ready to celebrate new winners and new champions. Let's get ready for new feelings of Emozioni Ferrari. Hello, good afternoon. What a fantastic sight that is. The Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli filled with Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo cars ahead of the Trofeo Pirelli Race 1 to round out season 2020. The mix of Trofeo Pirelli and Pirelli AM drivers lined up on the grid, ready to do battle across this very, very tricky circuit. Welcome once again to Misano on the Adriatic coast. Beautiful location, which even in March has something of a holiday feel about it, if not quite a holiday temperature. So the track, 4.226 kilometers, 16 turns. 6 of them are left-handers, 10 of them are right-handers. It's about an hour and a half from Bologna and maybe 2.25 hours from Florence or so, a beautiful region of Italy. And a track that the drivers really do love. As you can see, air temperature around 14 degrees, track temperature is 15 degrees. There's plenty of cloud around, but the sun is trying to break through from the image on screen. As you can see, just a few rays of the sunshine. And rays of sunshine down there on the track with our cars ready to go out. Alan Jurgensen there to the right-hand side of your picture, team principal of Formula Racing. And as we make our way through the grid, to the right-hand side is the car of Fabian Wolvend for Octane 126. To of that, it was Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who's not qualified quite where we expected him to. Left-hand side is Cooper McNeil from the Ferrari Challenge North America. And big shout-out to Jeffrey Grossbard and the team here from North America.
I'm a Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli M driver, and I'm racing with Kessel Racing. Here we are in Misano for the Finali Mondiali. This is my first season. I am really excited to be part of this competition. All the contenders are really, really tough, but I will give them a hard time. Welcome on board this amazing car. This is the Ferrari 488 Challenge Evo, and this is going to be my office for the rest of the weekend. This is where all the action is happening, and where I'm going to compete against all the rest of the people during the Ferrari Finali Mondiali. I'm happy to introduce you to Misano circuit. It's a very technical track where it brings a lot of memories of my early races. I love the first part, especially the first 3 turns, where the fight is happening, especially at the beginning of the race. And I like very much the last part where you're mixing a really interesting combination of speed and technique. And this is where you can gain most of the time against your opponents. The setup is amazing, so sit down, enjoy the race.
Cheers, Nicolo. We will do that, and the best of luck to you as well. Going from P6 in class, actually P12 overall in terms of the grid. 5 minutes to start time, 5 minutes for the anticipation and the excitement to build for this Ferrari Trofeo Pirelli race. Pole position, Thomas Neubauer. Alongside him is the Trofeo Pirelli AM driver, Frederick Paulsen, who has done a great job in terms of putting that car ahead of 4 straight Trofeo Pirelli drivers. Good job done by Frederick Paulsen. You can see why he is the Trofeo champion. Emanuele Maria Pirelli champion is somewhat further back down the grid as well. Out of the safety car will lead the cars away, of course, on the traditional formation lap. A rolling start for our Ferrari Challenge competitors this afternoon, and indeed in every race in which they compete. And there you can see Media hard at work, and all the way down the grid, drivers full of expectation of the 30-minute race that lies ahead on this 4.2 kilometer circuit here, the Misano World Circuit Marco Pirelli. So Thomas Neubauer then for Charles Pozzi Courage did a great job in qualifying and has put the car on pole position, and we're going to hear from him right now. He's with Finali Mondiali.
Thomas Neubauer, pole position. You came back in Ferrari Challenge and now pole position.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, obviously this is the best way to start the weekend. Now we're gonna try to keep this momentum till the end of the weekend, and yeah, try to have a good qualifying tomorrow, good race tomorrow, and to finally be on the best step of the podium on Sunday. So, cheers, guys.
Now, let me explain exactly what happened there. Thomas Neubauer had his eyes closed, and he was anticipating the first few corners, and that's why he didn't immediately respond to the microphone, unlike Frederik Paulsen, and he is going to respond to the microphone right on cue.
Frederik Paulsen, a pole position behind the main class Pirelli. What do you feel in this moment?
I feel ready. I feel happy. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I think we're going to have a good race.
I think we are, because 19 cars going into the funnel of turns 1, 2 and 3 almost guarantees the spectacle that we talked about right at the beginning of the programme. It's going to be fraught. It's going to be fierce. And we're so looking forward to it. Cheers to Finali Mondiali then for bringing us the two pole sitters. One, the pole sitter for Pirelli, Thomas Neubauer, to the left-hand side of your picture. And then to the right-hand side of your picture, a brilliant effort by Frederik Paulsen, who has put the car on pole position in class P2 on the grid overall. So Thomas Neubauer then, who now, having envisaged the first few corners of the lap, is happy to give us a wave as well. Florian Merckx, the Belgian driver driving for Baron Motorsport. Boy, he knows his way around here, and he knows his way around a 488 Challenge Evo car. A very, very formidable driver. Looking back from the Emanuele Maria Tabacchi car, that's the car that we're on board with. And we're looking at Mathieu Weibo, the white, blue and black car that you could see from the rear view of Emanuele Maria Tabacchi's car. The onboard shot from inside the Trofeo Pirelli Am Champions car, Frederik Paulsen, who of course drove for Formula Racing, and there, one Mr. McNeil. What a driver he is. Wherever he races, you would never bet against that guy. I said in our qualifying show, and I hope Cooper won't take offence at it, he's about 8 foot tall. He's a massive guy, and he is a massive talent. And he will, and he surprised me actually during the quality show. I expected Cooper to be out for a second part of qualifying. He set the early bank position lap, but that was then bettered by Thomas Neubauer, Frederik Paulsen and Florian Merckx, and I expected Cooper McNeil to come back out again and have another go, but he didn't. What can he do from P4 on the grid, P3 in class? You wouldn't bet against him winning. The safety car has been released, and now too all the competitors get released in their 488 Challenge Evo cars. Rolling start in the Ferrari Challenge, so basically the cars will catch up with the safety car, then they'll grid up side by side, ready to go racing. Florian Merckx is a non-starter on the grid. Now, if they can get that car going and get him into the pit lane, he would be able to pick up on the back of the formation lap. Here's the grid in full. Thomas Neubauer, Frederik Paulsen occupy row 1 of the grid. On row 2, we find Cooper McNeil now on his own because Florian Merckx has not managed to get away. Fabian Volvend and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, row 3. Expect some overtaking to come from there. Then it's Christian Brunsborg and Mathieu Weibo on row 4. P9 and 10 occupied by John Vortic, and Pulcini goes from P10. Then it's Hans Sickens and Nicolo Rossi. Nicolo we heard from earlier in the programme. Lucky Kura, the UK champion, from row 7. And alongside Lucky Kura, Thomas Oroka. Then we see John Dillon, and then it's AC, Hanno Laskowski and Cloud Senaretti. Good to see Cloud here in the Finali Mondiali weekend as well, with David Gosner bringing up the rear of the pack. The cars weave from side to side to try and generate some temperature into the tyres. We have not only European racers, but North American racers as well, colour-coded on the bottom of the screen, as you saw just a few moments ago. Cooper McNeil, of course, one of those North American racers, and very much a danger man from the second row of the grid. All the social media at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Please be part of the Ferrari family and the Ferrari Challenge. We would love you to be part of it. Look at that power plant. The Ferrari power plant that propels these 488 Challenge cars, and that engine of Frederick Paulsen's car. Great to have that onboard shot right into the engine bay. So as promised then, the cars have lined up side by side, gridded up together with just a couple of turns to do. What will happen is the safety car will peel off into the pit lane, and then it will be the responsibility of Thomas Neubauer and Frederick Paulsen to control the pace of the rolling start. If they've managed to recover that Florian Merckx car, then he'll be allowed to start from the back of the pack. If they haven't, it could be all over for the Baron Service driver. Just looking outside my window to see if I can see the car in the pit lane. Unfortunately, I can't. Let's get ready to rumble! The lights go green. A great start from Thomas Neubauer. And a good start, too, from Frederick Paulsen. If he can stick to this as Neubauer goes around. Everyone takes avoiding action. He doesn't get collected. And it's a real drag race to the race lead now between Frederick Paulsen and Cooper McNeil. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi is trying to make headway as well from his disadvantageous start. So the order is Paulsen, McNeil, then is Fabian Volvend, who's had a blistering start. John Vortic is at P4. Mathieu Weibo, then it's Christian Brunsborg. So Weibo taking a look at the inside of the John Vortic car, but nothing doing at that point. So Paulsen will really be under pressure now from Cooper McNeil, the Trofeo Pirelli North American champion. Fabian Volvend, the lady racer, running in P3, who is going to try and hassle and pressure Cooper McNeil as well. The gorgeous white, green and red livery of the John Dillon car. And this, the opening lap of the Trofeo Pirelli race. We are live from Misano. Frederick Paulsen then. Oh, we heard that coming. So that is the car, if I'm not mistaken, of Nicolo Rossi. I believe Nicolo Rossi is out. Oh, first lap in the book. Can Cooper McNeil take Paulsen on the drag into turn 1? Ah! There we can see Nicolo Rossi, who is going to come through turns 1, 2 and 3 in the lead. Well, Frederick Paulsen has held it together. Nico Spalek, a safety car, a chance for me to breathe, and a chance for me to introduce you. Apologies, but that first lap was so fraught with activity, I didn't even give you a chance to speak.
Well, thank you. I mean, yeah, we had always worried that this first few turns in this chicane is always suspectable. And with so many cars coming through there, it's really a pinch point. And we've seen incidents, not in Coppershell earlier today, we were lucky there, but this time it was just Paulsen coming alongside Neubauer, and here it is again in replay, and you can see Neubauer is ahead, Paulsen is alongside, obviously Neubauer on the inside of turn 1, so that gives him the advantage, but then that changes for turn 2, and that's just where Neubauer turned in and is not a lot, but it doesn't take a lot to unsettle the car when you're on the edge like that.
And that's the classic 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, isn't it? Because who did what to whom? For my money, is Neubauer far enough ahead to have claimed that? Or should Frederick have yielded? That's a really tough one to call, and pleasingly, we'll leave that to race direction. But I don't think Frederick Paulsen did anything wrong in that situation, Nico. But that's only my opinion.
Yeah, I tend to agree. If Paulsen had come from further behind, that would be a different matter, but he was alongside all the way. So it's not like he has to brake to make way there. I rather think that, I rather think it's unfortunate than anybody's fault specifically. And talking about unfortunate, Nicola Rossi, who so kindly introduced us to his office and this circuit, unfortunately, doesn't spend a lot of time in his office today.
Look at the grid progress on the left-hand side of your screen. The real notables: John Vortique up 5 places. Mathieu Weibo up 3 places. There was a lot of overtaking. AC did the same with up 5 places. John Dillon up 3 places. And the race being led by Frederick Paulsen. Cooper McNeil is P2. Thomas Neubauer way down there, P15 now, P5 in class. And he is going to want to be doing some overtaking. So we're on board with Frederick Paulsen during this safety car phase, following the fact that Nicola Rossi ended up in the gravel. The car has got to be recovered. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, well, he is running P6 in the race overall. He's P4 within class. He won't be happy with that, and he will see this as an opportunity, potentially, the safety car sort of neutralisation of the race and certainly all the gaps in between. He will see this as something of an opportunity for having another go at trying to get past certainly Weibo and Vortique ahead of him. Cooper McNeil, well, he's a wily character and a very clever racer as well. He will see this as an opportunity to get the better of Frederick Paulsen going into turn 1 when we do eventually go back to racing. Let's see, an awful lot can shape up. We have safety car very early on. Now, the incident involving cars number 6 and 98 is under investigation. Now, that was the opening couple of corners sequence where Thomas Neubauer and Frederick Paulsen made contact, as I say, from our angle, and we are not race direction. It looked to me, I don't think Frederick really, he would have had to go off the track to make way for Thomas Neubauer. I don't think Thomas was far enough ahead, but that's, seeing it from one angle only. And Race Control have got huge amounts of cameras at their disposal to analyse everything from every single different angle. Safety car comes in at the conclusion of this lap. So it's now then that the likes of those drivers that will feel they're out of position, that they will use this opportunity now to try and psych themselves up into a position ready to pounce. Yannick Bardi there from Octane 126 looks on from the pit wall. So Cooper, of course, will want to try and ascertain when Paulsen is going to give it a footful on the loud pedal and try and anticipate that. Paulsen, in the meantime, you can see, just wants the safety car out of the way. Well, the safety car duly does get out of the way now. They're running into turn 13 now. Sorry, turn 14. And then there's just a couple of turns. Beg your pardon, I was right first time around. Turn number 13 now, heading down towards turn number 14. That's where the safety car is. Then it's turn 15 and 16 and ready to go back to racing with 23 minutes remaining on the clock. So now gives it a footful. I think Cooper did a pretty good job hating when Cooper was going to go loud. And this may really play to his advantage here. So the top 4 almost together. So Frederick Paulsen leads them away into turn number 1. Cooper McNeil himself under pressure from Fabian Volven for Octane 126. Then it is John Vortique for the Francorchamps Motors Luxembourg team. So Paulsen then, he is the AM champion in Europe. Cooper McNeil, the Pirelli champion in North America. And it's going to be a real fight now. There's Mathieu Weibo. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi desperately needs to get past him because it's not a class battle. Mathieu Weibo is an AM driver. And Emanuele Maria Tabacchi is indeed a Pirelli driver. Cooper McNeil making sure that Fabian Volven does not come that way around. Fabian goes alongside Cooper now, but it's a long way around the outside. And sure enough, has to yield. Cooper keeps his pressure on. Now, Fabian is in this, she's in the red car in P3 at the moment. She's got this position of wanting to attack Cooper ahead, but also having to defend from John Vortique behind. And then it's Emanuele Maria Tabacchi who has got past Mathieu Vibo. That was pretty critical in his quest to get to the front of the field, to be honest. So it remains Poulsen, McNeil, Volvent, Vortique, Tabacchi. Then it's Mathieu Vibo. Vibo P2 within class, P6 in the race overall. So there's Tabacchi then, about to put the pressure on John Vortique. There's lots of battles going in and on here. It'll be a 3, 4, 5-way fight for the front of the pack any moment now. Poulsen, of course, has done a lot of winning this season. And he's up against a real C-Pro in terms of Cooper McNeil. We're on board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, the Trofeo Pirelli champion, chasing down the car of John Vortique ahead of him. Now, if anyone can throw a car over the rumble strips and try and gain as many centimeters as possible, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi is that man. He doesn't necessarily always use the orthodox lines around the track. He can try and pull something seemingly out of nowhere in quest to overtake, and 9 times out of 10, he makes it happen. This is very tight at the front here. Fraught at the front, I'm tempted to say. Fabian just taking a look at the inside of the McNeil car. And once again, on board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi chasing down John Vortique. No lie there, Nico. It is effectively a 5-way fight to the front, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see Poulsen, for him, obviously, he's an M driver. He is not really fighting for position. But first of all, there is the pride of place. You want to be P1, and if you can beat all the Pirelli drivers, that is a magnificent feat, and he'll be very proud of that. But equally, those 5 Pirelli drivers are a nice cushion towards his next M competitors and challengers. So, you know, why yield? You're in a pretty solid position. Now, I do think if Cooper McNeil or one of the others will be alongside and will be able to force him into a decision whether to yield or to risk a collision, I think he will be on the safe side of things. But until that happens, fair play. Just have the lead and enjoy it.
You can see Cooper on the lights there. It's just trying to unsettle Frederik Poulsen, getting to make just the tiniest of errors. But Poulsen is not for making errors at the moment. Now, what can Tabacchi do to get Vortique? We look at Mathieu Vibo. Look, he's an AM driver and he's set the fastest lap. He's 1:36.875, the fastest lap of the race so far. So, the incident involving cars 6 and 98, no further action. I think that's the right call, Nico.
Yeah, I think we said it, and we do agree with that. It was a racing incident, and just not enough space for 2 magnificent 488 Challenge Evo cars. And but talking about Thomas Neubauer, he's already up into P10 overall. You can see he's P5 in class, obviously 8 seconds behind this group, but he is making up ground quickly. And you know, another safety car, and he may actually come back into the mix.
You're right. And Thomas Neubauer is one of those drivers that once he's got the bit between his teeth, and he will feel wronged over what happened. But you know, it's the race direction that makes the decisions, and I tend to agree that I think it's the right decision. Now he will feel wronged over that, and therefore his dander will be up, and he will be determined to get as far up the field as he possibly can. In the meantime, a lovely clean pair of heels is being shown to the tall North American by Frederik Poulsen at the moment, who is not yielding to the pressure brought about by Cooper McNeil. In fact, if anything, he is increasing the margin between himself and the P2 driver, because it's up to just under 6/10 now. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, if I may say, is making heavy weather of getting past John Vortique, but in all honesty, he didn't look at one with the car during qualifying, which is why he, in my opinion, qualified out of position. He just didn't look as comfortable as I've seen him look before. So whether there's something yet just not quite at 100%, as Frederik Poulsen now sets the fastest race lap, a 1:36.552. That's interesting because the 2 fastest laps in the race have been set by AM drivers. So good job being done by Frederik Poulsen, and a good job also been done earlier on by Mathieu Vibo. In the meantime, He's still able to maintain that margin over Cooper McNeil, but there is still 17 minutes of this race to go as there Emanuele Maria Tabacchi takes one of those unorthodox lines in his quest to try and get by John Vortique, and he's not been able to do that yet. In replay, there's just a little bit of a touch there on the front. That will, of course, be as part of that collision right at the start with Thomas Neubauer. Just wonder whether that will cause any particular issues for Frederik Paulsen later in the race. Formula Racing will have taken a look at that as he's run past the pit perch. At the moment, the lap times would indicate it's making absolutely no difference whatsoever. Christian Brunsborg in the number 4 Formula Racing car is currently running P3 in the AM class. That is P7 overall, and he's in a battle with Mathieu Weibo, who of course is P2. So Mathieu is going to have to stick his elbows out here to prevent Christian Brunsborg from coming through and wrestling away that P2 position that he currently holds within the AM classification. Very nearly half distance in the race. Frederik Paulsen now with 6/10 over Cooper McNeil. And they in turn are 1.2 ahead of Fabian Volvent, who's stoic and steadfast in P3 for Octane 126 currently. They're the junior of the father and son combo that are racing in both Copichelle and this Trofeo Pirelli. Miroslav Weibo races in Copichelle. It's his son Mathieu Weibo, who's currently P2 in the Pirelli AM classification. And there's Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. At the moment, he is off the podium, because he's running in P4. It's not very often. In fact, I'm struggling to remember the last time that Emanuele Maria Tabacchi was not in a podium place, Nico.
Well, it hasn't happened this season. He has finished 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 1 thus far. So 3, the lone third place, the blemish on his record. As
he's trying
a very inside line, yeah. Track limits, as we can see here, something to be exploited, but also something to be watched. And we've seen that great battle of Weibo and Brunsborg. Both of them have been given warnings for track limits, and just as I say, Weibo takes a very, very direct line through that turn. So it's definitely something that the teams and the drivers need to be on the lookout when they're giving a slap on the wrist before it becomes something worse.
Just let me tell you that Nico and myself have experience of Misano track as AC is under attack from Lucky Kura, the UK champion, Lucky Kura in the number 24 car. Both of them running very, very wide there. Nico and myself have got experience of the Misano circuit because we did a moped ride around here, rental mopeds, of course. We certainly didn't jog the track nor race the track, but there are certain places where, very unusually for certain circuits, you can get a track, if you can exceed the track limits without being noticed, you get something of a slingshot, don't you, into the net.
Absolutely, and Misano is also one where it's also places, as Thomas Neubauer certainly went off the track limits, but not to get an advantage. There are certain slots where on the inside of some turns, and turn number 16 is a particular example of that, where you can dive onto the inside and gain an advantage by just cutting the corner, essentially. So that's also something that the race stewards are having a clear look. And now Emanuele Tabacchi is giving the same track warning for turn 8.
And that's what I find absolutely fascinating about Misano, because the track limits can be exceeded at nearly every corner. Normally, you find there's 2 or 3 corners where you just try your luck. We're here, jolly near every corner. AC really under pressure here from Lucky Kura. It's for P4 and for P5 within the AM class. There is Emanuele Tabacchi, who, as Nico has just mentioned, has been warned with regards to exceeding the track limits. Do that too many times and you do get a penalty. So try and avoid at all costs. Meantime, Frederik Paulsen has extended just a little bit his lead over Cooper McNeil. It's just under 7/10, but I have a feeling that Cooper will come back. very, very clever, strategic driver. He will know when to push hard. He's just doing a bit of tyre conservation at the moment, not stressing the rubber too much, and making sure that he's staying within striking distance of Frederik Poulsen, but also not taking too much out of the car so that his strike can come towards the end of the race. We're very nearly into the third of the race, following that safety car intervention earlier on. So Poulsen from McNeil, from Volvend, Vortiek to Backe, and then Mathieu Weibo. In class, it's Volvend and Vortiek. Now, factor this in, Nico. Cooper, of course, is leading as far as the Trofeo Pirellis are concerned. I think, knowing Cooper as I do, he won't be satisfied with that. He wants to be first on the road.
But he should be, because he is a racing driver. He's an ambitious racing driver, and they all are. But, I mean, for him to be beaten by an AM driver, you know, props to Frederik Poulsen, but, you know, Cooper will not take that lying down. He will, I'm sure, as we see one of those turns where you can really cut the corner.
They all did.
Sorry. They all did, yeah. Apparently that's one where Claudio Garavini, our race director, said, we're not looking at that one particularly. Anyway, Cooper McNeil.
I could have overtaken you on my moped if I'd have realised that I wasn't going to get peanut.
Yeah, probably, but you could have done that anyway. Cooper McNeil is gonna probably, you know, wait a little bit until we've got 5 or 6 minutes to go, and then he may decide to launch another attack. Obviously, all of those drivers have one goal in mind, and that is get their cars safe to Sunday for the World Final race. None of them wants to bin it in a desperate attempt to gain one place here, especially with championships in the different regions already basically decided.
And that is also where these drivers are very, very clever as well. And as you say, whilst Cooper will want to be first on the road, he won't be prepared to take a win it or bin it risk, because there would be no point. You know, he would like to be crowned world champion on Sunday. He's already won the championship in North America. Clearly, he would like to cross the finish line first, but he's not going to jeopardise his position in terms of the World Finals on Sunday. The Gold Roof race is to come on Sunday, always part of this glittering Finali Mondiali weekend, where we are live from the Misano World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi still having not found a way past John Vortiek. To be fair to John Vortiek, he has driven brilliantly. He's defended, but maintained his pace and completely frustrated Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. What that is doing, of course, is it's allowing Christian Brunsberg to get ever closer to Mathieu Weibo in a AM battle, because Mathieu Weibo is stuck behind Tabacchi. That has allowed Brunsberg to get a bit closer. And it's all about podium places, because Poulsen is the AM driver leading the race overall. Then P2 and P3 within the AMs is Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsberg that we just talked about, who are stacked up behind this man that we're on board with now, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who in turn is bedeviled in terms of trying to find a way past John Vortiek. They're close, but not close enough. And there you can see the rest of the pack have really broken away. That's Poulsen, McNeil and Volvend. And then there's kind of a second pack, and that second pack contains John Vortiek, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsberg. And I wonder how long it's going to be before Thomas Neubauer is banging on the back bumper of those. It's going to be quite some time, actually, the time gap between Brunsberg and Neubauer. What have we got? Just under 8.5 minutes of this Trofeo Pirelli race 1 of 2 remaining to round out the 2020 season. And then, of course, the Trofeo Pirelli World Final race to come on Sunday here in Misano. On board once again with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Oh, just taking a look at the inside there, but Vortiek had got it covered and absolutely said, no, you ain't coming through. I just think Poulsen is beginning to break away still a bit further now, because he's increased his margin right at the front of the pack by another couple of tenths. So this was Tabacchi then across the rumble strips, the Astro and the grass, and a bit of mud for good measure as well, in terms of trying to shortcut as much as you can, but it kind of compromises your exit out of that turn because you're on the curbs once again. But hey, what do I know about it? Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, he has not been off the podium at all in the 2020 season, and prior to the Trofeo Pirelli Championship. Of course, he was Trofeo Pirelli AM champion. And the man knows how to drive a car, make no mistake. And there he is. And there's Mathieu Sveibo. And there is Christian Brunsborg for Formula Racing. So with just under 7 minutes left to run, let me give you the 1, 2, 3 in each class. It's Frederick Paul leading the race to the AMs and leading the race overall ahead of Mathieu Sveibo and Christian Brunsborg for the AM drivers. Then for the pros, it's Cooper McNeil, Volven and John Vorteek. So Nico, 6.5 minutes remaining. Surely now Cooper McNeil is under pressure from Fabian Volvend. And has Cooper got a problem? Because it just looked like Fabian went round Cooper McNeil. Now that's a real position change, because that's for the leader in terms of Trofeo Pirelli. And it just looked all rather too easy for Fabian Volvend. I didn't notice whether Cooper made perhaps a slight error going into that turn. I would think it's hugely unlikely, but he's lost a whole heap of time in comparison to where he was just a few moments ago, challenging Frederick Paulsen.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And it may be something, you know, missing a gear, you know, or a problem with the gear shift momentarily, because, you know, his speed right now looks not significantly compromised, but he was just a few tenths as we see the...
Forgive me, that's AC gone around.
And that's another attempt.
Yeah.
We had those two coming almost together already, Lucky Kara and Kotzi, and this time they came to blows. And yeah.
Well, to be fair, him going around, whilst you would argue it is as a result of the contact between the two of them, it happened sometime later on, and he got the car loose. Look, Cooper McNeil is dropping down the order now. Cooper is dropping down the order. A 5-second penalty going to be issued to car number 251. That is Cloud Senaretti. But Cooper has obviously got a problem, and, well, that is disaster for the Ferrari Westlake. Such a shame. I was really expecting a ding-dong battle right at the end. The incident we just saw between AC and Lucky Kura is going to be under investigation. We're on board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who now at least has got a podium position. He's in P3. He's got John Vorteek still ahead of him, and John Vorteek has been ahead of him for the entire duration of the race. But I have to say, it's got to be some form of problem for Cooper McNeil to see him drop down the order like that. I wonder whether he's got a slow puncture, you know, Nico.
Yeah, indeed. Or maybe there is something with one of the higher gears where he just can't reach the top speed. And oh, there is now car number 60.
That's Hans Sickens
in the gravel.
Now, is that far enough away off the racing line? Hans Sickens. Oh, he's lost a wheel, Nico.
Yeah.
Now,
you don't see that very often, and no, I do fear that
that's going to be a safety car. It's got to be a safety car has been called. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you there, but safety car has been called, which is a great shame, because at this stage of the race, just 3.5 minutes remaining, it probably means the race is going to finish behind the safety car now.
Yeah, that is very likely, because that car will not be able to be recovered within less than a minute or two. So I fear that will be the end of the competitive part of this race, which, you know, Paulsen will be not too dissatisfied. I think Fabienne Volvend, she'll be happy, and so will be the Octane 126 team, which we see here on the pit purge. Fabienne certainly will feel satisfied after, to the best of my knowledge, not claiming a win thus far this season. Lots of P2s, but Tabacchi was pretty much had a monopoly on the P1s thus far, so she'll be happy.
Absolutely, you're right. Standout for me, though, and the standout started in qualifying, is Frederick Paulsen.
No question. Amazing day of racing and driving from him, from the morning all the way until now, and he had 5 seconds of a lead, so he wouldn't have been challenged under normal circumstances for the remainder of the race.
And of course, who coaches Frederick Paulsen? one Mr. Stefano Guy.
Legend.
And great guy, great fun. Love Stefano to bits. So, us are behind the safety car, and I fear with just 2 minutes on the clock, that's the way it's going to end, which is a great shame. Ferrari Westlake will be... So wish I could listen into the radio conversation, find out what has happened to Cooper and Cooper McNeil's car. He's down there off the podium now, which again, like Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who, as you said, has got a claim to P1s mostly. The same could be said of Cooper McNeil, you know. Just didn't expect to see that. I rather thought, converse to that, the real challenge was going to come in the final quarter of the race. But there we are. That's what makes motor racing so brilliant, yet at times for some drivers so cruel. Paulsen, Weibo, Brunsborg, the 1, 2, 3 in terms of drivers. For Trofeo Pirelli drivers, as Nico has indicated, it's going to be Fabian Volvent's first win of the season, richly deserved. John Vortique, I think that'll be his first 2 of the season, also richly deserved. And Emanuele Maria Tabacchi maintaining his pretty universal podium run, I think.
Yeah, that is almost a given now. There is the Nicola Rossi car in the grass on the side, but you have to question, or you have to ask yourself. I mean, Tabacchi, when we went here in September, he was basically, you know, if you ask anyone who will be the Pirelli World Champion, odds-on favorite would have been Emanuele Tabacchi, I would think. He has shown such speed and talent. And I mean, he still has both of those, but you know, he hasn't shown exactly that kind of pace either in qualifying nor in the race today. So whether there's something wrong with the car, or whether, you know, no idea what it is, but he will certainly think about how he can change that between now and Sunday, because he definitely will want to win that World Championship.
Yeah, he just... you know, you're reinforcing what I said earlier. Watching him during quali, he just didn't appear to have that. And he did everything in qualifying that he normally does, i.e., wait till the very end of it, go out, put in a couple of warm-up laps, and then really go for it. Well, he did that, but he didn't seem to have the pace underneath him that he's had previously. So his strategy hadn't changed. I just wonder whether there was something not completely gelling correctly in terms of the relationship between Emanuele Maria Tabacchi and the car itself. Who knows? We're on the final lap. Sadly, we are behind the safety car. Therefore, the race effectively is as good as done, because it's going to be Frederik Paulsen, Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsborg who are on the AM podium, and it's going to be Fabian Volvent, John Vortique and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi who are on the Pirelli podium. Frederik Paulsen, though, winning the race overall ahead of 3 Pirelli drivers. That is some achievement, and he should be very proud of that. Stefano will be thrilled to bits that he has done that. Really shown his own today. And just a great shame that the race has to end behind the safety car. I just wonder whether the safety car will peel off into the pit lane and allow the drivers to at least take the checkered flag, Nico.
That is standard procedure, and I think that will be an honor that will not be taken away from Frederik. Credit to Thomas Neubauer as well, who, you know, forget about the gap, because behind the safety car, that's really not relevant. But, I mean, he made it up all the way back into P8 overall. And most of that overtakes he did on the road. Yeah, that is significant. And I do think much that he will rue the fact that he didn't end where he started this race. He will be pretty positive about his speed in the car, looking ahead to Sunday and tomorrow as well, of course. So much that he's going to be disappointed, he will also take the positives from today.
I also think he'll take a trip up to the steward's room to have his say on it as well. Really do, knowing him as I do. But you know, that's every driver's right to do that. So there we are. The cars behind the safety car. Then it's been brought to a close. As I say, I hope the safety car will peel off into the pit lane and allow them to take the checkered flag and for Fred to win the race overall, beating the drivers. Yeah, sure enough, he's going to be allowed to do that. And that's the thing to do. Safety car peels off into the pit lane, and then we'll accelerate across the timing line, but the race will be over effectively, and to give it, Olsen wins ahead of Fabian Volve and John Vortique, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, then it's Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsborg. Cooper to salvage P4 in class, P7 overall. Then it's Thomas Neubauer having done 8 overtakes that P5 in class. John Dillon and Hanno Laskovsky. Clad Senoretti, Tommaso Roca and Hans Sickens, of course. They don't finish the race. Hans Sickens we found wheelless in the gravel. Tommaso Roca retired earlier. And, of course, AC and Pulcini and Rossi we lost earlier on. And interestingly, Florian even make it off the grid. Of course, his car not starting on the formation lap. So Octane 126 are very happy. And, of course, their driver, Fabian Volvend, P1, the winner of the Trofeo Pirelli race. And as Nico has indicated, it's her first win of the season. And well done. Many congratulations to Fabienne. Also a very, very good drive from John Vortique. P2, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi does get on the podium. P3, but Frederik Poulsen, race winner overall, and of course winner in terms of AMS, ahead of Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsborg. Another very interesting race to set the scene for our Finali Mondiali weekend, Nico.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of intrigue there, because you had some drivers who you figured may be very, very quick, who haven't shown it necessarily that way. We had 2 drivers, Cooper McNeil and Florian Merckx, obviously with some technical issues. So that adds some intrigue to their weekend. So, and then obviously Frederik Poulsen, I mean, that speed was just fabulous. But don't discount Mathieu Weibo. He's going to be one to reckon come the world final race as well. And there is Thomas Neubauer here with the unfortunate incident at the beginning of the race. So, you know, if you ask me today who will win tomorrow and on Sunday, I have no idea. No idea.
No. I mentioned in our quali show earlier on that, for my money, the overtake of the year came at Portimao, and it was Mathieu Weibo getting past Frederik Espersen, who sadly is not on the track this weekend, but he's celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Frederik Espersen. But Mathieu Weibo, that overtake was absolutely fantastic. There is one happy Mr. Stefano Guy.
Amazing racer, amazing team principal.
Yes.
I mean, amazing coach. He's going to be thrilled to bits.
He gave me a lift to a restaurant once when we were in a different part of Italy. Never, ever again. Boy, he can drive.
Does he really? Oh.
Here's confirmation of the result then. Frederik Poulsen, the winner. Fabian Volvend, P2. John Vortique, P3. That's the race result, or top 3 overall. In class, it's Fabian Volvend, P1. John Vortique, P2. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, P3 in terms of Trofeo Pirelli. For the AMS, it's Frederik Poulsen. Then it's Mathieu Weibo and Christian Brunsborg. But well done to all the drivers. A very, very intriguing race, as Nico said. And you certainly wouldn't want to be putting any money down on who's going to take tomorrow's race. Or the world final on Sunday when it comes to that either. Super competitive drivers. And there is Fabian Volvend, congratulated by Yannick from Octane 126. Well done, Fabienne. Still holds the honour, Nico, for the first ever lady to win a Ferrari Challenge race overall, I believe, in Europe.
Super.
I do tend to agree with you, and I have to be honest, there is another man who has shown great racing today, Frederik Poulsen.
Yeah. That's Fabienne's father. So Fabienne's dad offers his congratulations. Frederik Poulsen, do be careful up there, friend.
You think
Well
he's
done,
happy?
sir. Yeah, I think he is. I think he is. And we'll try and grab interviews with both Frederik and Fabienne at the same juncture. There is Michele Mambelli standing by. Here come the best action, though, from that race.
Fabian Wohlwender, you take your victory here in Misano Adriatico, a big overtake on Cooper McNeil.
Yeah, amazing start in the new season. I had a really great start, could make up some positions. And then, yeah, I really well prepared for the last corner and could overtake Cooper on the outside. Yeah, a little bit, yeah, had to risk it and was good. So, yeah, super happy. And I hope we can continue like this season.
Well done, Fabienne. From Liechtenstein, don't you know? And there is the car that delivered for her. Christian Berchinger will be very pleased. He's the team principal of Octane 126. And we're trying to catch up with Frederick Paulson. Okay, Michele Mambelli is down there, and here is the winner overall.
Paulson, you start, of course, first row for this weekend, is the first race, and now the victory for you.
Super nice race for me. Got a bit of a rough start with Neubauer, and wasn't really left with much space, so we had a little contact, and it caused me to gain the lead, and I just managed to race from there, and then tried to do my best every lap, and so it worked out today, so I'm super happy.
Well done, Frederick Paulson. You deserve that. There is the car that took him all the way to the top step of the podium. And there is the little contact that he mentioned there with Thomas Neubauer, as he said he wasn't left a lot of room, so almost inevitable. Okay, stand by. Here come the highlights now to music. Enjoy. Shortly, we will be heading up to the podium. 2 podiums to come, of course. One for the Pirelli drivers and one for the AM drivers. So, best progress then. That's interesting. John Vortiga, 6 overtakes. Best progress from the AM drivers. Hanno Laskovski with 6 as well. So, there we have it. Top speeds, Thomas Neubauer for the Pirelli drivers and Christian Brunsborg for the AM drivers. So, podium to come next.
Now we are ready for the first podium, Pirelli class. Third on the podium, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Second on the podium, John Vatica. And the winner is Fabian Wohlwender. National anthem. Our claps for the Pirelli podium main class. And gentlemen, take your trophy, please. Take your trophy and lift it. Okay, lift it for photos and images from Misano Adriatico World Final weekend. Thank you very much.
So there we have the Pirelli podium done and dusted. Here come the top three. We've seen the drivers. Let's see the cars now. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi for Rosso Corso. P3. Porsche Motors Luxembourg. And John Vortig, the number 94 car. P2. And for the Octane 126 team based in Zurich, the race winner in Trofeo Pirelli, this young lady in car number 5, Fabian Volven.
Second
Now time for the AM podium.
Matus Wibo. And the winner is Fredrik Paulsen. National anthem. And claps for the podium of Pirelli AM class. Gentlemen, take your trophy and lift it. Thank you very much. All together, please. All together is the first step of the podium. Okay. Lift your trophy. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
And there, the winner's car, Fredrik Paulsen, for Formula Race. Well, across the Coppichelle and Trofeo Pirelli racing now, that's what I National Anthems album has had 4-5 separate tracks thus far played out. And we're standing by, of course, we will have a North America podium to come as well.
Trofeo Pirelli, race 1, North American Challenge. Only one driver on the podium, the winner, Cooper McNeil.
Well, Cooper, no stranger to the top step of the podium. Good all-round guy and brilliant race on the top step.
Claps for the winner of this race, Cooper McNeil from USA.
So Cooper
Thank you very
McNeil
much. Okay.
holds his trophy aloft, and here is the car that propelled what he will be disappointed with, P4 in the race overall, or in the class overall, despite him being the quickest Norcon racer. At times I felt he was going to be winner of the race overall, but it wasn't to be. So from the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli, the first Coppichelle race is done and dusted, and that race, the first trophy weekend that you've enjoyed, done and dusted. From Nico and from myself, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you join us on day 2 of the Finali Mondiali weekend here and celebrate the great Ferrari Challenge racing. Bye-bye for now.